Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Today we're looking at a step-by-step guide to the Canva video editor. Now there's a lot to cover off in this, and there are some elements that are similar to the animation side that we looked at last week. If you've not watched that video, I'll link it down below. It's all part of my beginner series here on Canva, because it's my mission this year to help you crush it with Canva. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Darren. I'm a Canva verified expert, but we've got a lot to cover off today, so let's dive into Canva and get started. From the Canva homepage, you're just going to come along, and to create a video, come over to the video option here. Now, if you don't start with the video option, there is a way to swap that, and I will show you that once we open the video editor menu. So this is the video editor menu, and it will have a distinct look to it. So this is how you know you're in the video editor menu, and it's because you've got this play button here and you've got this duration, and you can click and drag these. If you've not got this view, you might have something similar where you can't drag this. The play button might not be there, but you can't drag this side option. Click the duration button down here, and that will then change it to a video style menu, and that's going to be key, because you're also going to be able to then come over to the side here, and you can either click zoom on the page so you can see the actual frame there zooming, or you can click on this again and you can zoom the thumbnails, and this is going to make the thumbnail or the area where we're editing come a lot bigger, and you can go up to 500% on that. So a 1 second video will look 5 times as long, if you like. So we're going to come back down to around about 300% just for now, just to get started on this. And we're going to be using stock video footage, and we're going to have a look at a template inside of Canva and break that down, and then see how you can apply those techniques to your videos and create some amazing videos inside of Canva. So the one that I've been looking at was this one here, this template. Now, if you are picking a template from here, when you click on some of them, you'll see that it opens up and you can actually apply multiple pages. So this has actually got 6 pages to this design. We can click apply all 6 pages, and that's going to then fill the bottom timeline. You can see there at the bottom, we've actually now got 6 separate pages on these. Now let's pause there for a second. Let's take a look at what this actually looks like. Okay, so there we go. We can see we've got a lot of like animations on there. There's text coming on, there's like transitions in there and everything else like that as well. So let's dive in and take a closer look at what's actually happening here in this video. We can see when we actually grab the timeline, we can scrub along, and we can see that elements are coming on differently. So what we can do is we can click Command and A to select all, and that's going to select all of the elements on the page, or you can just drag across like that, and then we can click show timing. Now again, we looked at this a little bit in the animation video last week, but there are some differences on this. Now we're in a video timeline, we can see, we can zoom in to this, and we can select all of those elements. So we can see that we've got the text coming on, and everything in this particular video comes on at the same time. If we wanted to change that and wanted them to come on at a different time, you can see you can drag them in, and then what that's going to do, if we had them staggered like this, say, they would come on, and this one would come on and be on for the whole, where it says welcome to my channel. That would come on and it would be on for the whole video, or the whole portion of that particular frame. It'll actually stop after this first frame. You can see when it transitions into this second frame, this welcome to my channel is no longer there. That's because it stops. Okay, but what we've actually got now, as we can see, as we drag this over, you can see you've got the welcome to my channel, other things come on, and they all come on and animate on at different times. That's great. You know, we can animate things on at different times, and this can be text, it can be images, it can be video, it can even be elements inside of Canva. So you can pick any of the elements inside of Canva and animate them on in any way, in any order that you want them to. And all you need to do is select the elements that you want to change, and then decide on the order at which you want those elements to display onto the screen and how long they wanted to. If you wanted for this, like welcome to my channel, to display across the whole lot, you can't do that. You can't drag it across because it's on that frame only. You'd have to drag it on or put it onto the next frame as well. So you can see if you wanted that welcome to my channel, if whatever text it was, you'd have to copy that over and then paste it on to the following channel, and then decide from here if you're going to have any animation. If once you've had it animate onto the first frame, you want it to just stay on there, then you'd come on and you wouldn't actually add any animation on there. Let me start off with some blank pages and then we can help and build it up slowly together. So if I come back to the Canva homepage, we're looking at the video option here. We click on video here to create a blank page. Now you can see we've now got this blank page. I can click to add a page down here and that adds a page. I can do Command D and that will duplicate the page. So I can duplicate the page if you want to as well, by using Command D or Control D on a Windows machine. So let's pick a photograph. We want a photograph on this one. We're going to pick this one and we're going to set that as our background image. We can come on, we can reduce the transparency of this so we can have some text come on. Now let's say we want to animate this image onto the screen. We can do that, but it's not going to do it because we've got it set to the background. We want to detach that image from the background and then just drag that up to the corners so that it covers our background. Now, because it's not attached to the background, we can now come on and we can now click animate. So you can see these are all animating on. So that's a way, if you've got an image set to the background, you're not going to be able to animate it first of all because it's kind of like stuck to the background. Okay, what you're going to have to do is just layer that into the background, and then you've got the breathe option here as well. So if you wanted to cover that up a little bit more, if we shrink that down, you can see if we go a little bit bigger, we click the breathe and we can click breathe in, and you can see because we've gone bigger than the actual page, it's now adding that like zoom effect, if you like, or breathe effect they call it. And you can do that in or out, and you can change the speed at which you do that as well. Really, really easy beginner's guide to getting started with video inside of Canva. To add text to your video, you can just come up to the text option and then you can just type in here whatever text it is you want to, and you might want to put Happy New Year. Okay, let's do that, and I'm going to put this in the middle, and again I'm going to fade out this a little bit as well so the text stands out a little bit more. We're going to change the font on this to something a little bit bigger. We're going to change it to this one, Happy New Year. I really like that font. And you can then change the color to something. Now you could change it to something from the image by clicking on the photo colors, or you can just pick any color you want from your color palette. So this is very similar at this stage to what we were doing last week with the video animations. They work kind of like the same, but there are some differences when you come onto the video timeline at the bottom. So we can see now we've got this video timeline at the bottom. If we click duplicate, you can see we've got it plays it again. Okay. Now, once you've got more than one page on here, if you hover over, you can either click this plus button to add a page, or you can click to add a transition. So if you wanted to add a transition, you've got the dissolve, you've got slide, you've got circle wipe, color wipe, line wipe, stack, flow, match and move, which we'll come onto in a moment, or the chop option. So if I change that to, in the second image, if we change that to the transparency became nothing, and then we removed the Happy New Year, you can see now we click on add a transition, you can see that the actual text fades away slightly in there. So you can see that the duration of that. And you can change the duration of the transition as well there. So you can see it comes on, and then when it comes onto the next page, the text fades away. And you've also got things like circle wipe, color wipe, and if you come onto color wipe, you can change all of the directions, whether it's diagonal or up, down, left, right, and you can also change all the colors here of any of the colors that you want. You can choose them from your website, or you can choose them from your color palette, should I say, or you can choose them from just the normal color palette here and choose the colors that you want to add to the color wipe. One of my favorite transitions is the match and move transition. So let's take a design. We're going to do something really simple. So we're going to say, let's say we've got this square here. Okay. And I'm going to make that blue. And let's say you want to make that shrink down on the next page. Okay, what you're going to have your page like this. You're going to have your first page. You're going to duplicate that, and then on the second page, change the size of this to whatever it is that you want. Move it down to the bottom here. Let's say we wanted it to go down to this bit here, and on the bottom down here, we click add a transition, and we choose match and move. Now you can see when we play that back, that image is shrinking, and that works for other elements as well. So I'm going to just come on and delete those again, because there's a little trick that I want to show you, and that is, let's say we've got a circle. Okay, oops, I'm going to delete that first page so that becomes our first page. So let's say we've got our circle here, and I'm going to put a cross inside the circle. Okay, let's say we've got this cross here, and we're just going to line those up so that they actually are centered and aligned to each other. Now, if we then now group these, there's a magic trick that we can do. Okay, so what you can do is duplicate this page. Okay, and then when on the second page, if you select your element and rotate it by 90 degrees, okay, and then come down into the middle, add your transition and match and move, you can see now when that plays, it's actually rotating. This is a really good option and fun way that you can play about with some of the options inside of Canva when it comes to adding some movement, animation, and some really cool video techniques. You can make that bigger. So if on the next one, you wanted to make that pop out. So let's duplicate that now. Let's take our image and let's expand it so it makes it a little bit bigger. We come down, add in the transition, match and move. Okay, you can see now when that plays, it's now going to make it bigger. So you can make things bigger, and you can add other animations on in the background. So let's say we've got this page here, and let's come back to the elements. Let's add a square. Let's say we've got some information on here. Okay, and we've got that on there, and I want to copy that and put it onto the next page. Okay, but then on the next page, I want that to have grown with the actual design as well. Okay, so now we can go, there you go. So you could add text in there. So you say you could add some text in here. Here is some text. Okay, so let's say it was some key information that you wanted to add in there. We're going to copy that text over, paste it into this one, and on this side we're going to make this text bigger. Okay, so we're going to make this text bigger. I'm going to put it in the center. Now we're going to come back down, and we're going to see that you can actually pop that open. It's taking the one side of it and then matching it, and it actually fills in the kind of like the frames in between. It's a really good option. A couple of other really good things that you can do in Canva is you can actually add audio onto your timeline as well. Now there are video, audio options inside of Canva. I use my own music because I use it from Epidemic Sound. So I'm going to come to my upload section, and this is purely for a copyright purpose, is because I know I can use this music when I'm publishing a YouTube video. Some of the other music inside of Canva, you can't use it on a YouTube video and things like that. So I always just make sure I'm just copying my own music onto here. So there we go. We've now just clicked this and it's added our music onto the bottom. Now you can add multiple music tracks as well. So if I wanted to add this one as well, I can do. So if on the first and second page I wanted to solve, let's say on the first page you wanted this snippet of music, and then on the second page you wanted to change it into this music, you can do. But you can also layer music as well. So you could add in there some sound designs, like, so let's go like with a swoosh. We got a swoosh transition. Okay, so let's put that swoosh transition right in here. So if I put the playhead as to where I want this to go, I can then come back up to here, just click that, and it adds that swoosh in there. And again, if we need to zoom in, we can come down here and we can zoom in to this, and I can put that swoosh transition in the middle here. So when that plays, you can see. And you can also, if the music is too loud, you can select the music track and reduce the volume. Okay, so let's say we've got this playing. You can see, because I'm zooming up, that swoosh really adds to that. So you can really kind of get granular on this. Okay, I really like this. So I'm sure you will do too. I'm so excited by it. I'm making sure that I am actually covering off all of the bits that I want to cover off for you. Okay, let's take a copy of that. Let's then put that in here, and we can see as you just drag that into the middle, you can see now as you come across, you can see adding that transition on there. And you don't have to have these at this level either. You can change the length of these, but you just have to make sure that you move all of your other things around on this. So let's say I'm going to put it here, I'm going to bring that down to here, and that makes it now a little bit shorter. So let's play this back and show you exactly what this looks like based on this timeline. Okay, so we wouldn't want this second track here, but so I'm going to just drag that across all of there. So there we go. Okay, now what we can do with this track as well is you can actually come up to beat sync, and you can sync the music, and you can see now we've put those display the beat markers on there. We can see where those beat markers are, so we might actually want to change this to be more in line with those beat markers. Okay, and I'm not going to get too granular on this one, but we're going to put that one there. That one's on a beat marker there, which is really good. And then here, if we wanted to put another one on there, you can just transition it to the actual beat of the music. So let's click play on that now. Okay, let's say on this track here now, at this point, we wanted to then reduce that again. So I'm just going to, for the sake of this, I'm just going to copy and paste this into this section here. Oops. Just delete that. So now we're going to take that, copy that, put our playhead where we want that music to be, click paste, drag that in so that we can see where it peaks is where it's crossing over. Okay, then in here we're going to then need to add our transition. Okay, and now because we add our transition in there and it's shrinking down, you can see it's going to be able to do that. And what we want to be able to do as well in here is rotate this again another 90 degrees. Okay, so it'll be 180 degrees now. And then on this, we'd want, say, some new text coming in. So we'd want some new text. Oops. So come over, add our text on there. Okay, text item 2. Okay, and click that in here. We can choose to animate this in. We can choose to fade this in. Okay, so now when we play that back, you can see that that is now shrinking back down and rotating again. It's something that you can play about with grouping of those elements. If we don't group those elements, so let's just go on, and if I just ungroup those elements, okay, ungroup. Now it sometimes just does not work when you don't group these. Watch this work now. Okay, it's working. I find it's better if you do group those elements together because it knows that they're one group then. Sometimes if you don't group them, they don't animate together and it doesn't quite work. Have a play about with that. That's kind of how you can add different layers into your videos inside of Canva. Now you can add this with videos as well. I've used elements on this. You can add in videos on this as well, like we did with the image earlier on in the other design, but you can also add videos in here, and you can add in frames and all sorts of different things. This is just a beginner's guide to getting started with video editing inside of Canva. If you've got any questions on what we've done here today, let me know down in the comments. I'd be love to be able to help you. All of my channel members do get a week early access to all of my upcoming videos. I'm going to be diving into more of an advanced video editing techniques in the future, and also answering all of your questions. Channel members also get priority when they ask questions. It's £2.99 a month, and yeah, you just get early access. I'm babbling now, so I'm going to say thank you very much and bye for now.